This show is getting my blood pressure so high. Beautiful. That is a classical classic. That is something that will get the soul going. That is something that will leave inspiration through your blood in your veins, baby. Thank you very much for that beautiful tone. Beethoven, the Second Waltz, one of his classic masterpieces. I've been getting on classical lately, dude. The quarantine has kind of reinvented Joe into a more, suave, pretentious douchebag of an individual.
I feel like it was just the next step, you know what I mean?
It was the eventual gradual douchey.
It's like when Uncle Buck in that movie, he was just telling them, like, I'm moving up from cigarettes to cigars to like meth. Like, we're just gonna go up the ladder, but hey.
I went from my master's to my doctorate.
Fun fact, shout out, DJ Jazzy Jeff. He told us that Beethoven was black, and he was black.
Yeah, I did not know that. He is, Jeff, a friend of the podcast, friend of the studio of Four Corners Radio. Go DM us right now.
Download the songs Hardaway and many more hits. Please go check them out.
One of my personal favorites, Hey Arnold, we got hits for days, hits every week in 2020. But with that being said, he did point that out to us, and I do appreciate that, as I did not know the lineage of Beethoven, so I did like to say that I'm starting to dive in to the original black culture.
Honestly, that's just great. I want to know that because he seemed like a light-skinned dude to me anyway, so I'm happy. And I mean, he was German, so he's a German chocolate. Congratulations. Joe, I'm going to let you take this topic because you are the Skins fan. You are the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, so enjoy yourself with this one. Everybody, tune in to the best rant probably since last week.
After my perfect rant, as dude called it last week. I don't know how much joy I'm going to get out of this rant to start off, but like I said last week, we've always smelled it under the sun. And I think, first of all, let's start off with this article. In my opinion, I think there's more to it. I think we already knew this was coming out, and I think Dan Snyder and Dan Snyder Ways took a page out of Billions TV shows. We always love to reference, of course, on Face of the Franchise, a little tit-for-tat theory. Google that if you don't know. And basically paid the powers that be to take his name out of that article, Jay Gruden's name out of that article. I think there's more to it. You heard rumors and local sources still reporting of, Jay and other executives pimping out cheerleaders, like that trip to Puerto Rico that happened to go ahead and sell executive seat sales. There was so much pressure because this team was a dumpster fire to get sales going, as it said in the article, but more so I think there's racism that was covered up. I think Dan at the helm covered up this whole thing. Let's go back to Dan Snyder, where he started from, where he got his entire fortune from. It was called Dan Snyder. Just allow me to interject for one moment, because I kind of want to collect my thoughts here a little bit and clarify a couple things. One, I think obviously they're not going to kick Dan Snyder out. This is, as you said, it's the Billionaire Boys Club. It's a tale as old as time. The system, I mean, you can point to any system, like the same with EA Sports, which we're going to get here later today. Any big corporation you pick, our government you pick. And it's not, they're very resistant to that change of the tide. So yes, they're not going to pressure one of their boys in the club to get out. I understand that. I'm not blind to that whatsoever. I think my mistake here, and what I wanted to clarify a little bit more in my rant, is because you teased that article for 2 or 3 days. That gave opportunists like Dan Snyder to reach out and say, hey motherfuckers, here's this, or I have this, or whatever powers that may be, so you can take this, and that out of the article. You know something along those lines that happened because there's too much reporting about it for there not to be more. There's still things saying under the surface and local sources here that are pointing out different kind of things, again, like racial allegations as well, and other demeaning comments as well, players that were put on the field that shouldn't have been put on the field to play. So I think all that got covered up. Those spicy nuggets came back. Those spicy nuggets came back.
I swear this man has that burping fit every show. Well, from one mishap to another mishap, COVID-19 obviously is ramped and ready to go. Joe, I see your face. I know what you're going to say on this one. But we know the NBA has a bubble. We know MLB is coming back.
I'm getting way too hot for this show, man.
You are. This is your time to get hot, man. MLS doesn't.
I might have to crack open a beer.
But the NFL has no plan whatsoever. I mean, they do kind of, in a sense that they were saying like they're going to test players every day, and then once it goes down under 5%, they'll go to every other day. You saw the players tweet out. It's like it's July. It's almost the end of July. Like, what's going down? Like, what are we doing? Like, teams are reporting to training camp. There's 59 cases that are positive amongst players. Like, listen, Roger.
So, and to clarify, it was 95 over the past 4 months. We said that earlier. I thought it was 95 over the past 4 months.
And then it went down.
Currently.
I have never seen a guy so sure of himself as a player. Maybe Javion Clowney, but sure himself as a player as Devonta Freeman.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who's a bigger joke in this situation? Who's a bigger cartoon character? Is it Drew Rosenhaus at this point, or is it Devonta Freeman?
Well, you just prefaced what I was going to say. Devonta Freeman signed Drew Rosenhaus, quote-unquote, agent extraordinaire, to get him on a team before training camp, a.k.a. immediately. So this is the same guy who said he wants running back one money. Like, he won't be a backup, a.k.a. why Carlos Hyde signed with the Seahawks and not Devonta Freeman. Drew Rosenhaus is a clown. I'm going to tell you this straight up. The guy who
You hire him to get press.
I mean, come on, dog.
You hire him to get press.
The easiest person to point at is AB. Like, that's
this show is getting my blood pressure so high.
I'm going to let you go off because I feel like you're more angry than I am about this. But I don't know what to say. This is on brand. Again, this is on brand. Like, this is on brand for EA. This is on brand for...
Yeah, why don't you go first and then let me go this time?
Yeah, I'll go first. How are you going to put Gronk at a 96 when the man hasn't played
95, but still.
Better than Zach Ertz, better than Darren Waller, people who actually played the game last year.
I am the walrus.
And then you put Aaron... Okay, I get it. Aaron Rodgers wasn't the best quarterback last year. He still took his team to the NFC Championship game. He still is one of the better quarterbacks. He came in at, 86, 89?
Yeah.
Come on, man. And you're going to tell me, Chad Kelly, that you're the second fastest quarterback behind Lamar Jackson? Fuck out of here, man.
Yep.
I think we're both on the same page. I think they won't be the worst team in the
Where Newt and Joe are on the same page.
But I think the next one. I think the next team we're gonna be very off on. So the Atlanta Falcons. They went 2-6, and Dan Quinn was on the hot seat. They were supposed to fire him. They started winning. They started to get close. Actually, at one point, I think they had a shot at making the playoffs because everybody was just straight ass. And you know what? Say what you want about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is still there.
Of football we had. Don't never forget.
Julio Jones is still fucking Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley is my breakout star this year. I think he's going to be a great wide receiver. I also do like them bringing in Hayden Hurst. I think Hayden Hurst was given up on way too quick by the Ravens. I mean, when you have Mark Andrews, it's pretty obvious you got to give up on him. But I think they did great. That's where I stop. Because
I was a little worried if you were going to be able to breathe there, and you're like me at the beginning of the show.
Because I don't know about Todd Gurley. I mean, the man has arthritis in the knees, man. I don't know. Ito Smith is supposed to be good. I don't know. Who's after them? Taylor Gabriel? Wide receiver? Their defense is still trash. Their defense didn't get any better. I mean, they did draft one of the better drafts, I guess, with the defense and offensive side. I just don't know, man. But I do have it better as the Panthers, 7-9. I did think of them when you think of Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Todd Gurley, Deion Jones, all these players, you're oh, this is a playoff team. This is for sure a playoff team. They're not. They're not. They never put it together. I think Dan Quinn was given another chance for no reason. I think the players are just playing for him. But I don't know, man. They're 7-9 to me. They're middle of the pack. I think the real question is what two Titans are gonna win. What are the two bigger teams are gonna win? Bucks or the fucking Saints? The other two are just gonna be middle of the pack. We'll see you next year by the Vikings, and then they get screwed again. So let's not talk about Drew Brees' issues.
Speaking of the show we talked at the beginning of the show, by the way, the tit for tat, there's got to be some tit for tat going on against the Saints. There's some vendetta against the Saints.
This is all in. Now they're all in. They have nothing. They're all in.
Run your conspiracy
They
theories
got
against the Saints.
they got Alvin Kamara. My man's coming back. They got Latavius Murray behind him. They got Smash and Dash again. They got Jared Cook. He's pretty good at tight end. If you haven't heard about him, he's good. Some guy named Michael Thomas, who probably had one of the best wide receiving seasons in.
Deserved 99.
Deserved 99. Sorry, Jeff. Then they get Emmanuel Sanders.
Can you wait? Can you explain to me why he does not deserve to be a 99?
Bro, it's not.
I'm fucking with the people.
I don't know what he's talking about. So thank you for another episode of Face of the Franchise. As always, Joe, tell them where they can find us and what they can do.
Maybe you already know what to do, and if you don't, well then let me tell you. You go ahead and DM at Four Corners Radio. Go check our website, which is
4cr.studio.
4cr.studio, and go join, of course, the great family that is Face of the Franchise, bread and butter, five holers, degenerates are us, hooping and hollering, free therapy, last nights, guys. We got it all right here, and come join the team if you can endear, baby. Noon, what else you got for us?
All right, well, I mean, that's it for me. I mean, just follow us on Twitter and Instagram, DM us, download, like, and subscribe. We do it for y'all. Always a little sponsorship. Buffalo Wing Factory for the best wings, craft wings, and beer. Go to Buffalo Wing Factory.
And green t-shirts.
And Jeff Mitchell, Hardaway. Download, like, and subscribe right now.
All his other hits right now. iTunes, Spotify, everywhere.
All right, baby. As always, stay breezy, stay easy, one love.
Ha ha!